In the month of December, I get really nostalgic for old Christmases where my siblings and I would get the latest video game console and spend the next months playing and sharing the new Zelda, Metroid, or Mario game with each other. We're going to celebrate this December with a series of videos on one of my favorite consoles, the Game Boy Advance. Each week, we'll cover a different aspect of the Game Boy Advance, including the latest hardware mods, installations, device emulation comparisons, and accessories to make the best playing experience. This week we'll review the latest IPS 3.0 Laminated screen mod from Funnyplaying.
Yeah, boy.
Step 1. Order your Game Boy Mod Kit from one of the many vendors out there. I've ordered parts from the 3 shown on the screen with links in the descriptions below. Ordering these kits directly from Funnyplaying will save you about $20 for the mod kit, but shipping will take about 3 times as long. My orders from Funnyplaying took about 17 calendar days, where Handheld Legends or Retro Game Repair Shop took about 5 days as they ship domestically in the US. Getting your hands on an old Game Boy Advance can be pricey, with them going for about a minimum of $60 on eBay, so in total expect to pay $130 for the minimum parts needed. You could also ball out and get a glow kit, clear buttons and membranes, and a rechargeable battery kit, which would be an extra $60. Step 2. Put your mod kit together very carefully. We'll cover this in the next week's video. Right off the bat, my favorite thing about this mod is how the screen looks so premium. The 3.0 laminated display is the newest out of Funnyplaying, where the screen looks like it's right at the surface and is amazing. It also makes installation so much easier, as you don't have to stress about getting dust in between the screen protector and the screen. Once you got this thing running, there are 2 methods of messing with the options related to the display. You can hold down select and open the OSD menu, where first you have the option to select the brightness, and it spans from 0 to 15, 15 being the brightest and 1 being the dimmest. And I really enjoy how bright this screen gets, and I find myself when playing in dark environments that the brightness is a little bit too bright, so I'll have to lower it to like 10 or something, but I do enjoy the brightness and just the beauty of this IPS screen. I think it looks great. Second option are the color palettes. The first one is the standard color palette. The second one is called a highlighted color palette, where I just find that the saturation and the colors are just made brighter. I typically set this one to be 2, so I find in most games it makes the display just pop a little bit more. There have been a few games that I've found it to be a little bit too much, so I have to turn it off, but that has only happened with 1 game, I think. The third color palette is a classic gray. I don't know who would use this, but it's there. The fourth one is a classic green to, I guess, mimic the Game Boy DMG, which again, I would not use this, but it is there. And then we have some display options. We have 3. The first one being the standard mode, the second one being what Funnyplaying calls an anti-aliasing mode, and then the third one being that pixelated mode, kind of to bring out the retro aspect of the screen. I do not prefer this, and I default to the first one always. I can't find any differences on the first and second modes. And the fourth option are what Funnyplaying calls frames mode, and you can either turn that on or off. I've found no differences that this option makes. You also have the option of touching. There's an on-screen sensor, and you can toggle through the 15 brightness modes. I don't use this because I get fingerprints on the screen, and there's only one way. You can't go back and forth. The biggest disappointment for this mod kit came in testing the effect of this hardware mod had on battery life. I tested with 2 AA batteries, where the brightness was fully on and the batteries lasted about 3.5 hours. With the brightness on minimum settings, the battery life lasted about 7.5 hours. This was a disappointment, as you can burn through AA batteries really fast. It makes me want to install the rechargeable battery pack. I'm curious what kind of battery life that would give the system. With this screen, I find it very prone to fingerprints and in kind of wiping it clean. It's actually pretty hard to get clean. I don't know what it is about these IPS screen mods, but the surface is very sticky and it's really hard. You usually need a screen cleaning wipe to really get it clean. You can see on Advance Wars 2, during the dialogue on some of these missions, you get a lot of blinking effect on the screen. Through my testing, I've found that blinking effect is not unique to this IPS mod, but it's more related to the easy flash card that I'm using. Hold on, I gotta talk to this guy. In Pokemon Emerald version, I found when you're running horizontally, you'll see some artifacting on some of the vertical lines. So, for example, if you look at the sign, you'll kind of see some stuttering on those pixels as you run past it. And that has been proven to be kind of some artifacting due to the display mod itself. I found that it's limited to only a few objects, so you can see it on these signs, and you can also see it on the vertical lines on some of these buildings. But other than that, I mean, okay, so this building has a lot of vertical lines, and you'll see that kind of stuttering as you go back and forth, which kind of bothers the eyes a little bit and isn't ideal. I haven't found any settings to necessarily fix that artifacting, and I think it's just something related to the IPS mod and is what it is until it's updated in the next version. This raccoon is going down. So this completes my review of the Funnyplaying IPS 3.0 Laminated Mod Kit. Overall, I'm very happy with the mod, and I'm looking forward to playing all my favorite Game Boy Advance games on this system. I'll look into getting the rechargeable battery kit mod to fix the low battery life issue, as I don't think it makes sense to use this with AA batteries. Please like and subscribe and share this video with any family or friends who are Game Boy nerds and looking for a cool new experience. And remember, this December I'm releasing a video on the Game Boy Advance every week, so look out for those in the coming weeks. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day. See ya.